Welcome to the online captains meeting for Columbus Recreation and Parks Adult Basketball, and thank you for your participation in our program. Our leagues have grown tremendously in recent years, and we now have one of the largest basketball programs in the nation. Please pay close attention to the material in this meeting, and remember, it is your responsibility to share the information provided with your teammates. There are a few main duties of a good captain that will be discussed in this presentation, including submitting and managing your team roster, knowing the league rules, understanding the zero tolerance policy, as well as your help in enforcing the rule, and finally, communicating with the office and knowing where to find additional information when needed. For CRPD Adult Basketball, we offer several divisions of play for men and an open division for women. A is the highest and most competitive division for men, and D is the lowest. Teams choose where to play based on their appropriate skill level. Former college players are only permitted in the A and B divisions. Check league rules for a complete breakdown of divisions and eligibility. All team captains are required to submit an online roster prior to their first game. When league schedules are posted, you will receive an email with information on submitting your initial roster. Rosters can be updated at any time throughout the season and can include up to 15 players. All roster submissions and changes are done by logging onto the QuickScores website. Always be sure to add players to your roster before they play in a game, not after. Participating without being on the current roster is considered illegal participation, and those players will not get credit for a game played. We will now cover some rule highlights for the season. Columbus Recreation and Parks uses OHSAA high school rules with a few modifications. Games are 2 20-minute halves with a running clock. Teams are permitted 2 timeouts per half, and the clock only stops in the final minute of each half and during timeouts. The complete adult basketball rulebook is located on our website. CRPD has implemented a score-out rule for all C and D leagues. This rule is in place to limit the scoring of individuals and keep certain players from dominating games in these lower-level leagues. Player point totals are capped based on what league they choose to play in. Once a player scores out, he can continue to play in the game, but he is no longer able to score any points. There is also no dunking permitted in the C and D divisions. CRPD enforces jersey rules for all adult leagues. Teams must wear similar colored jerseys, and all players are required to have a screen-printed number. Tape or markers cannot be used to make a legal number. If a player does not have a proper number, they are assessed a uniform technical when they enter the game, and the opposing team is awarded 2 points. A uniform technical is also awarded if a team has 2 players with the same number. Other rule highlights to review prior to the season include the following. Jewelry is not permitted while participating in CRPD leagues, with the exception of flat, smooth wedding bands. Alcohol, tobacco products including vaping, and illegal substances are not permitted in CRPD facilities. Spectators are permitted in our facilities, and children must be supervised by a non-player during game action. Teams can protest games if they believe opponents are using ineligible players, but keep in mind that all protests must be filed prior to the completion of a game, along with a $30 protest fee. Be sure to review the full rule book online for other CRPD rule adaptations, such as the ball advancement rule. Players must earn eligibility in order to participate in postseason games. Players must be on a team's active roster and participate in at least 4 of the 8 regular season games to be eligible for the postseason. Stats pages are available online for captains and players to track points and games played. Please contact the sports office if you see any discrepancies. For postseason games, all players must check in with a photo ID prior to playing. If a player does not have an ID present, he or she will not be permitted to play. Occasionally, teams do not have enough players to play on a particular night. A forfeit is declared when a team fails to show up to their scheduled game without notifying the sports office. A default is when a team calls the office or submits the online forfeit form by 4:30 p.m. on the day of their game to notify us that they are unable to play that night. Both situations result in a loss, but a default can preserve playoff eligibility and can prevent a team from being removed from a league. This also allows us to notify the opposing team. Appropriate behavior and sportsmanship is expected in CRPD adult leagues. If a player is ejected from a game for unsportsmanlike conduct and/or for receiving 2 technical fouls, that player is suspended from all CRPD leagues and facilities for a minimum of 1 week. Severe infractions can result in suspensions of 1 year or longer. As a captain of a team, you are responsible for your players' actions. Checking a player who is losing his or her composure out of a game is often a good preventive tactic. If a team records 3 technical fouls in a single game, the game is automatically forfeited and further action may also be taken against the team. If you need to contact the sports office for any reason, we can be reached in a variety of ways. The office phone number is 614-645-3366, and office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Our website is located at crpdsports.org. You can email us at crpdsports@columbus.gov, or you can reply to the emails you receive from program supervisors throughout the season. We also provide consistent updates on our programs via our various social media platforms.